The death of Sinead O'Connor left an awful hole in the world of music. But what have we learned about the iconic singer since her tragic passing? On August 8, 2023, 2 weeks after Sinead O'Connor's death, thousands of her fans lined the street in front of her former home in the Republic of Ireland to pay a final tribute. A hearse carrying the body of the 56-year-old singer-songwriter slowly rolled through Bray, where O'Connor had lived for 15 years, and stopped briefly in front of her former home on the Strand Road. Later that day, a private funeral was attended by her family, friends, and celebrities. Since her death, which the Metropolitan Police aren't treating as suspicious, a coroner has conducted an autopsy to determine what happened, but it remains unclear whether any information will be released. Meanwhile, her family has spoken out through the media to thank her fans for their support. Sinead O'Connor had only been living in South London for a few weeks when the police came to her home. Per the Met Police, they had received reports of an unresponsive woman at a residential address in the Brixton neighborhood. The next day, the London Inner South Coroner's Court announced on its website that no medical cause of death was given and that the coroner would be conducting an autopsy. The Irish Times reported on August 3rd that the coroner had concluded the autopsy and returned O'Connor's body to her family. At the time, a representative told the newspaper that it could be some weeks before the court would receive the report. O'Connor's cause of death will only be publicly released if the court determines an inquest is necessary. Inquests are held when the cause of death can't be determined or are violent or unnatural, according to the coroner's court support service. In a statement, O'Connor's 3 surviving children and her extended family thanked the outpouring of love and affection for her. The statement personally thanked Irish President Michael D. Higgins and his wife, Sabina, as well as Prime Minister Leo Varadkar. The family also thanked the Kevin Bell Repatriation Trust, which they said facilitated the bringing home of Sinead's body to Ireland. The family of Kevin Bell, a 26-year-old Irish immigrant killed by a hit-and-run driver in New York City, founded KBRT in 2013 to help aid other families return the remains of their loved ones back to Ireland. O'Connor's family also thanked her fans for attending the funeral procession past her old home in Bray.
Most important for the Irish people to love Sinead O'Connor forever.
Following the procession, the family had a private burial in Dean's Grange Cemetery in Bray. A druid led the ceremony, which included a sheikh reciting Muslim prayers and music. As her star-studded funeral made clear, Sinead O'Connor was hugely respected within the music industry, particularly in her native Ireland. Speaking to the crowd at Ireland's Cavan Calling Festival in the wake of her death, Boomtown Rats singer Bob Geldof hailed her as one of the finest voices in Irish music. He also described his last correspondence with O'Connor, a series of text messages that he said were filled with desperation and despair, although some were, in his words, ecstatically happy. O'Connor had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder early in her life, although in 2013, she claimed that she'd actually been misdiagnosed. She believed that she instead suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder resulting from her abusive childhood. Geldof and O'Connor shared a close and long-lasting relationship. The Boomtown Rats are one of the biggest acts in Irish music, and the group meant a lot to O'Connor. Geldof himself even lived just a few hundred feet from her childhood home. He and his band were a huge influence on O'Connor while she was a teenager, to the point that she would hang pictures of him up in her school. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, help is available. Call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.